विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी नामिने नमो ओं विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी नामिने जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री गदाधर श्रीवास गौरभक्तवृंदा जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री गदाधर श्रीवास गौरभक्तवृंदा. Please tell loudly. हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Loudly please. हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. I pay my obeisances unto the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada. I express all my gratitudes and also make many praises to Srila Prabhupada for having given us a golden opportunity to all of us to go back to Godhead. All goes to Srila Prabhupada for his wonderful devotional services to Srimati Radharani Lord Gopinath. Hare Krishna. Please tell loudly. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Hare Krishna. This Bhagavath Katha, this is in 12 cantos. This is compiled by the great sage Vedavyas Bhagavan, who is the incarnation of Sri Krishna Paramatma himself. After writing the scripture of Mahabharata, the Panchama Veda, he has also compiled this Bhagavatam for our purpose. This Bhagavatam, it tells in the 10th canto, it is the full details of Krishna incarnation in Dwapara Yuga is given. But for us to understand this Bhagavatam, we need to start from the beginning, from the first canto. So, totally this is in 18,000 verses in 12 cantos. We are in the first canto, third chapter. In the third chapter, Sutamarshi, the disciple of Vedas Bhagavan, he is telling the Bhagavatam to the sages in Naimisharanya. In reply to their questions, in this chapter, he is telling about the various incarnations of Sri Krishna Paramatma, who is the cause for himself. See, we have all taken birth. We have all taken birth because of our past deeds and other things, and we are not cause of our birth. We have not taken birth because of our own will. Whereas Krishna is not like that. Krishna, the Supreme God, he takes all incarnations on his own will, and he makes whomever he considers as a mother. Whether it is Kausalya's womb or Devaki's womb or during Vamanavatara, Aditi's, she is the mother of Devendra. Aditi, slow, or in a fish avatara, he has taken the womb of some fish. As a tortoise, he has taken the womb of a tortoise. That is his will. And even his disappearance is according to his own will. Whenever he finishes his goal in that incarnation, he leaves this planet. So he has taken many incarnations, not just 10 incarnations as we generally know. Already I have told all the 10 incarnations as well as the Nanarana Avtara, Vedavyasa Bhagavan, so many incarnations I have told in short in the earlier verses. Today we are doing the 36th verse of this third chapter. Please repeat with me this 3 times. I will tell slowly, you please repeat. Thereafter I will give the narration. Sava. Please loudly. Sava. Idam. Vishvam. Amoga Leela. Sujati Avati. Ati. Na Sajjate. Asmin. Bhuteshu. Santirita. Atma Tantraha. Sat Vargikam Jigrahati Sat Gunesha स वा इदं Vishwam Amoga Leela Sujati Avati Ati Na Sajjate Asmin Bhuteshu Chantarita Atma Chantara Tantraha Sad Vargikam Jigrahati Sadguneshaha Sava Idam Vishwam Amoga Leela Sujati Avati Atti Na Sajjate Asmin Bhuteshu Chantarita Atmatantraha Sat Vargikam Jigrahati Sadguneshaha Savaidam Vishwam Amoga-Leelaha Sujati Avati Adi Nasajjate Asmin Bhuteshu Tantarita Atmanatantraha Sat Vargikam Jigrahati Sadguneshaha. The word to word meaning of this verse is Sad. Saha. Saha means the Supreme Lord. Va, alternately. Idam, this. Vishwam, manifested universes. This Vishwam means again not just one earth planet. Vishwam means the entire this Brahmanda, like that. Many Brahmandas are there, many Milky Way oceans. I'll come into detail a little later. Amoga Leelaha, one whose activities are spotless. Whatever activities Krishna Paramatma does in his incarnations, they will be spotless. You cannot do any, identify any bad things in his Leela. Sujati, creates, he creates. Avati, Ati, maintains and annihilates. Na, not. Sajjate, is affected by. Asmin, in them. Bhuteshu, in all living beings. Cha, also. Antaritaha, living within. Atma Tantraha, self-independent. Sat Vargikam, endowed with all potencies of his opulences. Jigrahati, superficially attached, like smelling the fragrance. Sat Gunaha, Ishaha, master of the six senses. The Lord, whose activities are always spotless, is the master of the six senses and is fully omnipotent with six opulences. He creates the manifested universes, maintains them and annihilates them without being in the least affected. He is the within everything living being and is always independent. See this Supreme Lord, Krishna Paramatma, as he said in the Goloka Vrindavana or Sri Vaikunta, they say, this, you know how many universes are there? Even scientists, they agree, there are millions and millions of Milky Way oceans, not one. That is Kshira Samudra. The Milky Way ocean is not what the scripture says, that is what scientists say. You know how many creations are there? Can you, if you take a fistful of sand, can you tell how many grains of sand are there? You can't tell. You can't count it. And the hairs on your body, number of hairs, can you count it? No. Like that, crores and crores of Milky Way oceans are there. All these are created by Supreme God Himself. He has created everything. And He is the protector. He is taking care of this. And He is also annihilating. At the end of every yuga, there will be an annihilation will be there. Bigger or smaller, like some earthquakes, volcanoes, something will be there. And a lot of disturbances will be there. All these things are done by Him. Again, end of 4 yugas. 4 yugas also, there will be one bigger annihilation will be there. One bigger annihilation will be there. And at the end of every 1000 yugas, Chatur yugas, you know how many years it takes one Chatur yuga? This Satya Yuga, like January to December, they have the names. Satya Yuga is the first Yuga. The first Yuga is 20,000 years. Again, this Treta Yuga, it is 12,96,000 years. Dwapara Yuga is 8,64,000 years. All this to put together, it becomes 43,20,000 years. At the end of each Chatur Yuga, there will be annihilation, a little bigger annihilation. Whereas after end of 1,000 Chatur Yugas, calculate a number of years, 43,000, 20,000 years into 1,000. So it will be in some crores of years. After that one, complete annihilation. Complete annihilation means it becomes a night time for Chaturmukha Brahma, and it's at that time Krishna Paramatma, he takes a very small child form. When we are born, you know how, you must have seen, when we are born you have not seen, yourself you have not seen, but somebody is born, you have seen how small it is. That small child on a banyan leaf, Vatapatta Sai, on Vatapatta Sai he will be lying, and all these universes it will enter into his stomach, Udara. And again, similar periods of 1,000 Chaturyugas, we will be created again. We will be created back again. And it's not that first some ants will come, from the ants some bigger bees, insects, like that, and some scientists have said we are all from monkeys. That is wrong. Now monkeys are also there, we are also there. We are not come from monkeys. God creates everyone simultaneously. Everybody are there. So, like that he creates, and he also takes care of our this thing. He protects us because we are all his children. We are all his children. Like our children, we take care of them. Whatever they need, we give them food in proper time. We give them proper education. We give them clothes, everything. Whatever they need, we give them. Similarly, we are all belong to this Krishna Paramatma. We are his children. Vasudhaiva Kutumbam. It is known as Vasudhaiva. It's not, I am not telling because Modi has told. It is just, Modi has picked up that word from the scriptures only. We all belong to him. We are all his children. It is known as Vasudhaiva Kutumbam. And he knows what you need when you need. He is going to give when you need. It's not that you desire something, he should give immediately. Because for your children, this is a material world. When they demand some chocolate, you immediately buy and give it. Otherwise, you also make them wait. Okay, we'll tell them, okay beta, you wait for them. When we go out, I'll get you like that, we'll tell something. Similarly, God knows when he has to give. He need not give immediately. The prime difference between Lord and the living entity is that the Lord is the creator and the living entities are created. He has no birth and death. He has no birth and death. He is the creator. He knows himself how he is taken. There is no birth at all. He himself is the creator. Again, once we are created, even we don't have birth and death. This birth and death is only meant for this body. Like just we change the clothes when they are torn or dirty. We take new clothes or a clean clothes. Similarly, when this body becomes unfit because of disease or old age or some other reason, whatever reason, when it becomes this unfit, this Atma, the soul here within us, they leave. You know the size of the soul? I think you know, you must have heard. You heard about the size of the soul. I think in the athletics. What is the size? Okay, you know that one. Others you do know the size of the Atma. The Atma size, you pluck your hair, cut the tip. You can understand English, is it all? English వస్తుందా అండి తెలుగు తెలుగునా ఇంగ్లీష్ రాదా తెలుగు కొంచెం కొంచెం వస్తుందా ఇంగ్లీష్ వస్తుందా ఇంగ్లీష్ వస్తుందా సో యు కట్ ది టిప్ ఆఫ్ ది ఎయిర్ అండ్ డివైడ్ ఇట్ ఇంటూ 10,000 parts. That one part is the size of our Atma, and that Atma is there here in our heart. Behind that one Paramatma is also there, because the small spark of Atma is there in body. This huge body, it's fully active and it's having lot of egos. We say, this is mine, this is my hard work, this is my building, this is my family, this is my city, all those because of ego we tell all those things. Otherwise, that small spark of speck of Atma, when this body becomes unfit, it leaves and it takes a different body. When it takes a different body, this body becomes dead. And like we put the waste into the garbage, this dead body is also put into a garbage, that is either it is buried in the crematorium or it is fired, cremation is done or buried. or some Parsi people, they just leave it to the crows. For example, these animals, we don't do any cremations or burying. Do we do? If you have adopted some pets like cat or dog in your house, you have lot of affection. If it dies, you might do that one. But there are so many dogs, so many animals are there. So many are dying like us. Like human beings are dying, even animals are dying. Are they doing anything? Just they are left in the garbage. Thrown away, that's all. Similarly, our body becomes a garbage material. So, only because of ego, we think that we are doing that, this, all those things. But once that Atma leaves, there is nothing. And there is no death and birth for the Atma. Atma is also eternal like God, but only thing it is created after, during the creation time. Once it is created, it will be taking lakhs and lakhs of births. What type of births we have taken, we do not know. We don't remember now. We don't remember now. But otherwise, when we are in the womb of the mother, from the 5 months pregnancy, we will be knowing what of the so many lakhs of births we have taken. Whether we have taken the birth of ant or mosquito or a pig or a dog, cat, we do not know. We have taken all the births and not one time each. Lakhs of times. Lakhs of times we have taken those births, and because God had some kindness and sympathy for us, for that particular Atma, He said, let me give him a human body and try whether he would come back to my home. Whatever home we are having, that is not our, maybe it is your own home, but only for this life. After this life, somebody else will come and occupy. Whether your progeny or some other government will take away or somebody will take away. So that is not a permanent home. Our permanent home is the Goloka Vrindavana or any of the Vaikunthas in this Akhilakota Brahmanda. So if you go to any of the Vaikunthas also, you will not get any other birth again. Otherwise, even if you go to Brahmaloka, Sindaloka, Indraloka, whatever lokas, you will have to take birth again. Whether as a Devata, for some time, as long as your Punya is there, you will enjoy like a Devata in the heavenly planets. But once your Punya diminishes, it exhausts. When it exhausts, you take birth on the earth in the form of some animals or tree, or we might go to hell to suffer because the sins we have made earlier. So for that reason, we will be having this cycle of birth and death. To avoid that one, we need moksha. Here he is called the Amoga Leela. Whatever Leelas, pastimes he has exhibited, particularly during Dwapara Yuga. During Dwapara Yuga, when Krishna from the Goloka Vrindavana, there also is known as Krishna only. And during Dwapara Yuga, Krishna was incarnated on the earth in the womb of Mother Devaki Devi. That is also the same Krishna in the full form. He is Paripurna Avatara. This Krishna Avatara is known as Paripurna Avatara. During his childhood itself, as a small child, he has exhibited many Leelas, Amoga Leelas. They are all spotless. Everybody thought he is a magician or he got some Devata's blessing, he is doing all those things. But it was his own Leela. He has shown all the universes when he opened his mouth to his mother Yashoda. And he also lifted the Govardhanagiri on his left hand, little finger for 7 days and 8 nights on to protect covered boys and covered girls, cows, everything from the rain created by the Devendra. And he has become number of Krishnas, thousands of Krishnas to dance with thousands of gopis. He alone married 16,108 wives, and he was there with everybody every second he was with everybody. It's not that today is with Rukmini, tomorrow with Satyabhama, not like that. With all the 16,108 wives, he is there every second. That was his Leela. Again, he has shown his Virat Rupa to Dhritarashtra, he has shown his Virat Rupa to Arjuna, and so many other things he has performed. All are Amoga Leelas. Nobody can show a black spot. It's a spotless. You cannot show whether black spot or red spot, whatever, you cannot show anything. It is his Leela, Amoga Leela, which indicates that there is nothing lamentable in his creation. And see, while creating in each and every living being, according to their requirement, For example, we human beings only, when we can breathe through our nose, we take oxygen and we leave out carbon dioxide. We never take carbon dioxide and leave oxygen. We take only carbon dioxide. So naturally built. Again, internally, livers, the lungs, heart, everything it is doing automatically, like scientists making some technical robot and maintaining it. God has created so many human beings. Not only human beings, all the living creatures, they have their own systems, internal systems, which is very well planned. It's very well planned, there is no defect at all. If somebody is having some physical handicaps like blind or limb is not there, hand is not there, that is not God's fault. It is the fault of that particular individual because of his karma, the bad karma or good karma done in the previous births. For that one, he has to undergo the punishment. Otherwise, God has not God created everybody in a similar way. All the living beings having their own the system for their living. Those who create disturbance in his creation are themselves disturbed. See, during earlier days, Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha, they created a lot of problems. But Prahalada, though he was one of the demons, being the son of Hiranyakashipu himself, he was a devotee of Krishna. To save him, Krishna has incarnated, making the wall as a mother, pillar as a mother, making the womb of that pillar. He came out, breaking open, he came out, he killed the Hiranyakashipu wanted to become the supreme god, but that is wrong. So how can he become supreme god? When he himself cannot control himself, he could not, though he had boons from Brahma, that he will be immortal, he could not be immortal. How can he become a supreme god? So when he created disturbances in the lives of the sages and Prahalada, God has incarnated through the wall as Nrsimha Avatara and killed him. And like that, Rama has incarnated human form and killed Ravana and Kumbhakarna. Again, Krishna himself has came in Paripurna Avatara. Paripurna means full, all qualities. See, Matsya Avatara, it was only Amsha Avatara, only for limited time he has taken that incarnation for limited purpose. So it was Amsha Avatara. Again, Amsha Avatara like Vyasa Bhagwan. Vyasa Bhagwan, he has incarnated for compiling Mahabharata, the Panchama Veda and this Bhagavatam, for enabling us in the Kali Yuga to follow it. Because Vedas we can't follow, it is in highly Sanskrit language which we cannot pronounce even the one letter of it. You can't not understanding, even you can't pronounce one letter properly. So he has given this Mahabharata, which is considered as Panchama Veda, and it contains all the other Vedas which four Vedas contain. And also is given us in a simple way of all incarnations of Krishna Paramatma in the Bhagavatam. And again, Aveshavatara Parashurama, he killed all the evil kings over the earth. He is full with all six opulences. See, there are several thousands of characters, qualities are there in the Supreme God, but out of them, 6 are very important. 6, he is all beauty. You can't compare anyone beauty than Krishna. Whether water form, whether it is in the form of Rama, Vamana, water form, water incarnations of Krishna, you cannot find anybody else in other than all his incarnations. He is most beautiful and he is all strength. He is having full strength. As a little boy, he has lifted only Goldanagiri Parvata, but while churning the nectar from the Kshira Samudra, he became a tortoise, and tortoise lifted the Bandhara Parvata for using it as a churning rod, and he is also given energy to all the devatas and asuras for churning. Like that, the entire this thing. Like he is all strength, and he is also all beautiful, all strength, and all this one knowledge. He is Sarvagna. He is having all knowledge. In today's world, by doing some one PhD, we are not intelligent. by doing some engineering. Again, if you do engineering also, again engineering, there are different branches of the civil, electronics, so many branches are there today. Computers, artificial intelligence, so many things are there. Again in medical field, again different. Physician is there, the gynecologist, pediatrician, like that. So many are there. So not in one person is fully having complete knowledge. But whereas Krishna Paramatma is Sarvagna, he knows, he is having all knowledge. Because the Vedas have come out of him only. He has created the Vedas. So he is all knowledge. And he is also all renunciation. All renunciation means not that he is taken sannyasa and sitting somewhere in the planet. He is all renunciation means he does not have any attachment. We see that Krishna in the form of a human body during the Dwapara Yuga. But when he was there, he must be sitting with somebody, he must be talking to somebody, he must be doing some dancing with somebody like that. But it's all, he does not have any attachment at all. He does not have any attachment at all. He has married the 16,108 wives because it's not that he was in love with them. He was not in love with them. They were in love with Krishna and they wanted Krishna to protect them. The 16,000 people who were in the custody of Narkasura, when they were, Narkasura was killed and they were liberated, they were asked to go away. Those women who were there with Narkasura, they surrendered to Krishna. They said, "Oh Krishna, if we go out of from here in the outside world, nobody will accept us because they consider us as impure. Only you can save us, you protect us. Please consider us as your wife." Everybody they requested for them because Krishna has to protect everybody. So to fulfill their desire, he has married them. Like that, even the other 8, this is about 16,100 women in Narkasura custody. Where the other 8, like Rukmini, Satyabhama, Jambavati, Vishaka, Lalita, all these 8 wives also, they are the main wives. They also, out of their love to Krishna, they surrendered to Krishna, desiring for him to marry them. Like that is my, otherwise Krishna is not a womanizer. So many people say Krishna is a womanizer. No, that is wrong. We should not say such thing. It's a wrong thing. So he is all like that. He is having all 6 opulences. Nobody else has. Even Chaturmukha Brahma, she also does not have these 6 opulences. And out of the, many thousands of qualities, 64 are main qualities of Krishna Paramatma. In this 64, again, Shiva is having 52 out of those 64. Brahma is having 43 out of 64. We human beings have 21 out of that 64. But this 21 also, we don't remember those things and we misuse. We misuse those whatever qualities we are having against the God. And thus he is the master of all the senses. He can control everything. Not only just his senses, he can control senses of every living being, of all planets, all universes, like that. So, like that he is Paripurna. During Dwapara Yuga also, when he has incarnated here, he has incarnated all these qualities. He creates these manifested universes in order to reclaim the living beings in due course, annihilate them without being the least affected by such actions. Because he wants, why he is protecting us? He wants us to come back to his home. He wants us to come back to home. When we don't come back, at the end of this kalpa, that is 1,000 Chaturyugas, he is going to annihilate. At that time we are going to enter into Udara. Again during creation will come out. Again while coming out, whatever karma is left out, with those karma. Hare Krishna, now this curtain will be open for darshan. You can have darshan and continue in the Bhagavata for some more time. And we need to go back to our own Godhead. See if your friend or relative, or if you have children, they are grown up, they are in other abroad countries. What happens? You will be longing them, or you yourself there in the abroad country. Your parents over here, they will be desiring when my child will come back, when will I see them, when will they live with me like that. And when you come, sometimes you come, seeing the surroundings and climate, weather, everything, you feel irritated. You say, what is this, this country is like this, it's polluted, all beggars are there, all poor people are there, they are not wealthy like people in America or UK. You feel like that. But whereas your parents, they feel very happy when you come back. They feel very happy when you come back. Similarly, when we get liberated, get moksha, when we go back to Krishna, Krishna is the happiest person to welcome us there. He'll be more happy than we going there. He is connected with this material creation very superficially because he does not have any attachment. Unlike us, we have attachment with each and every single thing. Whatever we see through this vision, with these eyes, we are attracted. Once we see something, this vision, it sends it to that sends to the mind. Mind, accordingly, it will controls the hand. It says, go and take that one. It also instructs the legs to walk there or to go in a car or a bike to get that one, to acquire that one. Like this, we are under the control of all this nature. Whereas Krishna does not have any attachment to anything. As one smells odor without being connected with the odorless article. See, if you have some natural flowers which is smelling very beautifully, when you smell good, it's a good fragrance will come. Similarly, nowadays so many artificial perfumes are there. When you spray it, they take this thing. Or we are attracted by all these things. Whereas Krishna is never attracted by such things. He will never have such attachments. Non-godly elements therefore can never approach him despite all endeavors. See, here non-godly elements means, again this animal, only human beings can have, because we have intelligence. We can read through the scriptures, we can listen through the satsangs, associations from the devotees, and we can listen through so much. Today we have so many technologies, advanced technologies, through the CDs or WhatsApp messages, we can hear, see so many things, we can understand, because we have intelligence. You can all sit down. Please sit down. We can all understand the God. Whereas the animals, they cannot understand the God. They don't have the intelligence. God has given similar Panchabhuta Sharira to everybody. To the animals, suitable body like what is needed by them. Panchabhuta Sharira, this body is known as Panchabhuta Sharira. This Panchabhuta Sharira is suitable for human body. But for us in human beings, he has given the extra thing is intelligence. This intelligence, using this intelligence, we can understand God. We need not leave the karma. Whatever karma we are doing, we have to perform our karma. Whether you are as a student, you need to learn. If you are employed somewhere in the company, you have to serve your company. If you are having your own business, you do the business. But whatever you are doing, that karma you do as a devotion to God. You do it as a devotion to God. Don't think that you are serving some of your boss. We are not at all servants of the boss. It's only in this materialistic world we are servants like that. But otherwise we are all servants of only Lord Krishna Paramatma. We are all servants of Krishna Paramatma. We are all his progeny. Maybe I am having different parents. Everybody are having different parents. But it's only in this materialistic world. But for us in common, Krishna is only the parent. He is the mother. He is the father. He is the acharya. And he is our friend. Everything. He is our well-wisher. He takes care of us. When we desire something, when we don't get it, means it's nothing that he is doing wrong. He must be doing favor only. By not getting that, he might be having a good fortune in the later this thing. So by not getting some fulfilled desire is not fulfilled, we should not feel bad or weep for that. So He knows what has to be given to us at appropriate time. And in this Kali Yuga, our lifetime is very less. Video. You take and show it in class. You show it first. Prabhupada first. So, your please sit down. It will come to everyone else. It will come to everyone else. Please sit down. So, when, despite of all this, not only animals, even atheists, they don't believe in God. Again, atheists also, they are not. Hare Krishna. See, even atheists don't believe in God. They don't understand God. They say there is no God. When we ask how this creation has come, they don't have answer. But for their own birth, they say, my mother and father, they wanted to enjoy something. In that enjoyment, I was born, they say. But they do not know how they were born. They simply say that my mother and father, they enjoyed as I was born. That is not the reason. If you ask how sun is created, how the moon is created, how this world is created, they don't have answers. But still, they are very adamant. They say there is no God, and they say they God. And if at all some atheists agree that God is there, they say He is Nirakara. Again, they do not know, because I told you one word of Sanskrit we do not understand. When they say Nirakara, it is not that God is not having a form. Nirakara means God is having form, but see, ours is vikara is there. In our body, changes are there. When you are born, you are a very small child. Every day, every second, changes are happening, but we don't notice those everyday changes. Only after a month, 2 months, a year later, we see the changes. We are grown like that. We become kids, then become youth, then become middle-aged, then become old, and then finally body will go away. Like that. Like that, in our body, avikara is there. Vikara is there, changes are there. In this God, it is without, again without akara means that is different. There is no form like that. Everything is having. This is having its own form, this is having its own, everything is form. Like that one, God is Nirakara means His body will never change. He always appears in the form of 16 years old, teenage old, 16 years old only. Whether it is in Golaka Vrindavana, in all Vaikunthas of other creations, or here in the DT form, He appears only in teenage form only. That is the meaning of Nirakara means there is no change in Him, because He has no birth and death for Him. Whereas in our case we have birth and death. For that reason we may take over all changes. There are different changes are there. We change the body itself. Like that, in our vikara is there. Whereas God is Nirakara. Since we have very less time in this Kali Yuga, Krishna Paramatma during Dwapara Yuga, since nobody took His instructions very seriously, only few have understood Him as the Supreme God. So, for the benefit of the all the mankind in the Kali Yuga, He has incarnated Himself as not as a God, as a devotee. As a devotee, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, about 600 to 700 years ago, and He has given us the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and also instructed us to chant 64 rounds. Anybody is having the bead? You are having? Okay, you can show it to them. See, in this bead, we have 108 beads will be there. In that bead chain. One round is 100 times chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So, 64 rounds. So far in the beginning days, this is the chanting bead, what you have, that contains 108 beads. So, when you chant on that one, in the initial time it will take 15 minutes time. But once you practice for 7 to 8 days, it will hardly take 7 to 8 minutes a day. You need to spend that much time for chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, because while leaving this body, when we go at the Antakala, and the Antakala we need to remember Krishna Paramatma for getting liberation. If you don't want liberation, you need not remember it. You can remember whatever you want, you will get in the next year life, you get that thing. Because whether animal life or whatever life, we get that one if you desire that one. But if you want moksha only, that means you don't want this birth and death. If you don't want this birth and death, you want to go to any of the Vaikunthas or Goloka Vrindavana, that means you have to remember him. At the end, earlier I told you some people were not there during the 5 months of pregnancy in the mother's womb. We all know how many lakhs of births we have taken earlier in what forms. We remember them. At that time we also see God directly in the mother's womb. But once we are delivered from mother's womb, we forget, attracted to this nature, we forget everything. Similarly, at the end of life, Antakara, he will give only few seconds. He will not give that 4 months time, what he has given during the pregnancy. 4 months time he has given to understand our previous births and to see the God. And we made many promises also to him before birth itself. But after birth, we have forgotten. Now at the end of the life, he give only few seconds. I do not know whether it is 2 seconds or 3 seconds or what. He gives only few seconds. For this I will tell you one example also. One person, he was about to die. Yamadharmaraja sent his Yamadutas with a list of this thing. He will the person who is supposed to die, he will invite those Yamadutas. Oh, just give me some time. Let me have a cup of coffee. You also please enjoy the coffee. He said, okay, this is only a moral. It's not a real thing. It's a moral for our understanding. Then Yamaduta said, okay, we'll have a cup of coffee. So what this gentleman will do, he will mix something in the coffee. He will make the Yamadutas to sleep and this fellow will enjoy it. So when the Yamadutas become conscious, they say, oh, see, I have to say. Then by the time, Yamadutas are also very intelligent. They say, now your time is over, you finish your coffee, you have to come back. He says, no, mine is in the last. What he does is, he changes the whatever that list they have brought in the reverse way. His name was in the last. But these Yamadutas, they are very clever. They made it reverse. They said, you are the first, you come with us. Like that, God will give only few seconds. In that few seconds, if you think about God, we will be liberated. We will be liberated, we are qualified for moksha. But if we don't remember something else, we might become this thing only. Earlier, many times I told the examples of Jadabharata and another atheist. Any of you are there? You are also not there. So I'll repeat that this thing. Jadabharata, the king, he is a pure devotee of Krishna. He is a pure devotee of Krishna. While ruling the kingdom, he was always in the worship of Krishna himself. At the old age, what he does is he invites his son, crowns him as a king. He retires to the forest for doing the penance. And he is doing very seriously penance for thinking of meditating of Krishna. But suddenly what happens in the nearby one pond, deer and deer kid, they will drown in the water. See, while Krishna, king is in the service of Krishna, he is also protector of his who are living along with him. So suddenly if he is, this deer kid is drowning in the water, I need to protect her. He brings that, saves that deer kid, brings it, and he started adopting that deer kid. Like that, some time passes, and finally his time will come to leave this world. At that time, because though he was a Krishna's devotee, instead of thinking Krishna, he will be thinking, who will take care of this deer kid? Uska alna poshna kaun karenge? Protection, who will do? Who will adopt this deer kid? He will be thinking, and in the next life he will take the deer life. But because throughout life he was Krishna's devotee, again he will get a human life. From there itself he continues and he gets liberated finally. But he had to take one more human life after the deer life. That was the sense. And there was one atheist who never believed in God. But for some reason he had a son. He named his Narayana. He named his Narayana. For everything he used to call Narayana, get me that. Narayana, do this. Narayana, do that. Like he used to call. At the end of the life, when he was about to leave, for what reason he wanted, I do not know. Yamadutas came because he is an atheist. They want to take him to hell. Also, Vishnu came because simultaneously said he was calling his son for something, Narayana, Narayana. Because he was calling Narayana, Narayana, throughout life he was calling Narayana, Narayana. So that Narayana was coming, Himadutas, Vishnu Dutas also came. They told Himadutas, no, he is chanting Narayana's name, we have to take it to Vishnu Loka. He was so fortunate because he named his son Narayana, and that was the practice he was there, he was calling. What we do, we name our children as Krishna, Narayana, so many God names we name them. But finally, how we call them? We call them by their pet name. Dali, Jali, so many things, other names we call them. We forget the original name given. But that atheist was better than us. So calling him as Narayana only. Like that, in the end of life, whatever you remember, based on that you will be taking. Not only that, your karma also, you need to do good karma. Good karma without desires. If you do good karma with desires, you will get punya. You should not get punya. And papa also you should not acquire. If you acquire papa, you are going to suffer only. Whether animal life or hell life, that is, you are going to suffer. But again, punya, you will be going, if you with desire means, you will go to Uttama Lokas, heavenly planets. Again, that is not moksha. After that your punya diminishes, you will be coming back on the earth to take some other birth. So, you do good karma without desires. Need not desire. God knows what He has to give you, He will give you. Don't desire anything. You do good karma. Your old parents, if they are at home, they are unable to come over here, you whatever you have listened over here or in some satsang, wherever you have heard, you glorify about them. And also you train your children, because we do not know when our life will end. Right from childish, we should practice that one. So you train your children. When you speak to other spouse also, whether it is husband or wife, you train them in all this. You are colony people, you help everybody. You share whatever you are having. Food also don't have it alone. You have it as a prasadam after offering to the God. But also a fistful of this thing, a palmful of food. You take it outside, around the house, you place it in some corners so that some insects, like whether it is house flies or cockroach or whatever insect, they come and feed over it. Because they too need some food. Or if somebody beggar comes, give him something. Don't give him anything in money form. If you give him money form, they misuse it, and whatever sins they commit, whether he drinks, he eats something which is not eatable, or if he gambles, prostitution, all those sins, we will be sharing these sins. So give him in the form of either old clothes or food, whatever it is. When guests come, that you treat him properly. You share something with your neighbors or things like that. Like that, don't harm anyone, don't hurt anyone. Without causing injury, without desire, you perform your karma. You perform your karma. I am not asking you to renunciate and come and sit here as a monk. You need not take that monk, this thing that is for other highly knowledgeable people to preach. Like what I am doing, I am also not a monk. I am a grihastha like all of you. But somehow God has given you opportunity, I am doing the preaching. Like that, you also do the preaching, whatever you have heard here. You need not sit on this Vyasasana only. You can sit anywhere, wherever you sit, sitting. You consider that itself as a Vyasasana and preach about the God. Like that, you remember. And also chant at least one round on beads and rest at least without beads. You continuously without beads also while driving or while traveling, you can chant in your mind. If it is not possible to chant loudly. Like that, you do that one so that we remember the Krishna at the end of our life. I want everyone to prosper. That should be our desire. What I am telling is not me. Our desire should be like, I want everyone to prosper. That should be our desire. We should not say Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. We should say Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu. By saying Samasta Loka, all the universes in this Akhila Kota Brahmanda, there are different living beings are there which we cannot see them through these naked eyes. These visions, these eyes, we cannot see them. For that one again divine visions are required. So whoever are there in other universes also, they should prosper. When they all prosper, automatically we will also prosper. Because we are one among them. That should be our desire. When you pray to the God, say Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu. Automatically God will take care of you. Whatever your needs are, He understands, He will take care of you. And He loves you more when you desire like that. So we shall now, today's session is coming to an end. Again we'll meet for Bhagavatam at the same time. Today evening we have Ramayana at 6 o'clock. It will be in Hindi and as well as the other language I can translate for those who don't understand. But today's this thing, after giving his Padukas, Rama will be moving away from Chitrakuta to Dandakaranya. That those events will coming. Please try to participate in Ramayana also in the evening. And tomorrow morning, same time we have Bhagavatam. We'll go to the next verse tomorrow. Now, before concluding, we shall chant 5 times Hare Krishna Mahamantra and disperse for today. Please tell loudly with me. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Please tell loudly. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Swasti Prabhyaparantyam Nyayena Margena Mahimeshaha Gobhavashamastu Nityam Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu Kayena Vacha Manasendrivyan Buddhyatpate Swabhavat Karomi Yedyat Parsmai Narayanati Sarpayami Srimanar Sarpa Sarvam Sri Krishna Arpastu Mangalam Nitya Sri Nitya Mangalam Jai Sri Radha Gopinath ki Jai Sri Jagannath Sodra Mai ki Jai Sri Narsingh Bhagwan ki Jai Sri Parad Maharaj ki Jai Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki Jai Sri Panchatattva ki Jai Sri Madhvada Granth ki Jai Sri Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki Jai Sri Prabhupada ki Hare Krishna